Okay, there we go. Nobody panic. Welcome. All right, welcome to Big Board. Hey, look, I wore a Japanese t-shirt, because it's thematic and, I don't have an outfit, so I wore a t-shirt, whatever. Okay, welcome to Big Board, where I thought we'd just chat and show you a few things about CV, about the game we're going to play, and either pique your interest or scare you off one way or the other. We'll see what happens. But the idea here is to sort of generally ramble about the board a little bit, talk about some of the mechanics so that when I ask you to vote on something, you'll have an idea about what I'm asking you to do and why it matters and stuff like that. So that's kind of the gist of what we'll try and do. I think I've got the camera set up in vertical format, so we may not be able to see everything that we want to see. I'm going to switch the camera around to look at the board and look at some tables and charts and bits and pieces, and we'll kind of go from there. And hopefully that will be interesting, and we'll see what happens. All right, I got to change the camera, and the app has changed. Here's the button. There we go. Smashing! Look at that. It's so easy. All right. Let's angle this bad boy down a little bit. All right, so we've got the entire, the two maps set up. I've got all the cloud formations laid out. There's a lot of argument about where the clouds really were and what the weather was like and all this. We're just going to go with what the game has, and let's not get spun up around the axle, because that's pretty easy to do. And I'm drinking a beer. It's the first one for the day, because it's Friday. Let's go, boys. And let's have a look at the rest of the map. So Midway is here. I've got Plex on top of picture frames because I'm out of space at the moment. I need to get a couple extra tables because I'm setting up what's its face Under an Iron Sky. I've been playing on Vassal, the pre-war game, and we need to kind of now start laying counters out on the map. Anyway, so I'm on the corner here. And the cat wants out. God dang it. Here, asshole. You're such a dick. Shut up. I don't know if I've told anybody, but I don't like cats. Right. Where the hell was I? Yes, map, stuff, clouds, Plex, Midway. There's a poll up, 2 polls up on the notice board for, well, hey, we got 17 people. Look at this, 17 people here. Somebody say hello for fuck's sake so we can, and by the way, not suitable for work, sorry. So say hi. And we've got 2 polls up, and the first poll is asking where does Task Force 16 go, which is going to be Enterprise and Hornet. And then second poll is where are we going to put Yorktown. And now you're going to notice something. Yeah, that just got rid of 5 people when I swore. Well done, Kevin. So they're there, different numbers because there is no number 16 and number 17 in the game. It only goes up to 12. So Task Force 1, which I think is this guy, is going to be Enterprise and Hornet. And so far, this is the leading indicator of where folks want them, which, I'm not going to argue with the little hive mind. Midway is over here. And as we mentioned earlier on, or as we mentioned in online, the Japanese can enter from this section here, this section here. They can start here or here in this shaded area. Can you see that shaded area? These 3 shaded areas, D, E, and H. I'm giving you guys a break, and maybe I shouldn't have, because I know that there's an option to set up in B as well. I guess that would get us into the fight quicker, but it might also be over very quickly as well. So anyway, look, I will be choosing and have written up a plan, an operations plan for the various task forces of the Japanese Navy. It is not going to follow the Magic's cipher level of intelligence. Hey, John, what's going on? what was I going to say? So it's not going to follow the intel, the traditional historical intel. It's too easy. It limits the Japanese too much, and it's pretty tedious to play. In fact, because you launch your Catalinas from here, fly them in a straight line, 2 hexes apart. You find the Navy, the Japanese Navy, and the game's over, right? So we're going to hope that there'll be a little bit of searching, a little bit of cat and mouse action, and we'll see what happens from there. Yes, it's Admiral Oz indeed. Admiral Oz with a beer, cheers. And we'll be doing that. Now, one of the first actions that the folks will have to do, the U.S. Navy players will have to do, is decide when or if indeed they launch search aircraft, which can be Catalinas. They stay up in the air for a long, long time. They've got an effective duration in the air of 20 turns. So 10 turns out, 10 turns back type of thing, unless they're spinning around following somebody, which is going to impact the time they can be up. With a movement factor of 6. So imagine, assuming that they have a normal launch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, they're going to be somewhere out past the Cure Islands here, and they will. That'll be their first turn. Now, if you want to get them into a search formation, it might take a little bit longer because you want, let's grab some aircraft and show you, because this might be fun to show you and give you a feel for it. Yeah, there's a lot of blue. There's not a lot of terrain on this map, mate. How you doing? Hexy, how's the Rock Chickamauga going? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One, two, three, four, five, 6. So I would want to launch all these guys like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And try and get them in some sort of sweep pattern so that we can search as we progress across the map. And you're going to have to get more and more aircraft out and in location, in position, and all that sort of fun stuff. But there's a little bit of a catch, right? The game starts at 1 a.m. and I'm sorry if I'm bumping the camera. It's on a little mini stand, and I'm on a folding table, so anything can happen at this point. So we're starting at 1 a.m. So it won't be daylight until 5 a.m. 1, 2, 3. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 turns. 4 turns in the dark, 4 turns of no spotting. But that will let you get 24 hexes out. 6 4s or 24? Yeah, 24 hexes out, and in position to begin searching for the enemy. Of course, it's quite a large area. So we'll see how that all pans out. And there's only, I think, 8 of these guys. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There must be one more. Yeah, one more. 8. 8 guys there. Now, we do have fortresses, flying fortresses. They could also be put into the search criteria, and they have a different set of capabilities and ranges, of course. He said, quickly flipping over, trying to find them. They can only be up for 12 turns, but they have a movement rate of 8. So there are some things to be thinking about. And what I'll do for everybody is ask you, what turn do you want to launch? What direction do you want to go? I.e., do you want to go, and you want to go in a tight pattern, which would be 1 hex apart, or do you want to go in a spread pattern, which will be 2 hexes apart? Do you want to go southwest or west? And then I'll set it up, and then we're just going to let those guys run, and then I'll let you know when you find the bad guys, and that will then trigger some activities, and we'll work out what all those activities are once we get to it. So I think that'll be kind of fun and interesting. Now, how am I doing? I am just fine. Thanks, Jeff. Just fine. I'm just so fine and dandy. It's a Friday afternoon. The missus is on the way back from out of town somewhere. It means I've got the last couple of hours of quiet and freedom peace and quiet. So life is good. We're making the most of it by recording a video. All right. So anyone else who happens to be here, chime in, say hi. We'll carry on from there. I know John and Jeff have already said hello, so I appreciate that. And apologies for swearing on the live stream. I think there's a rule where if you, in the first minute or so of a live stream or a video, if you have cussing or stuff like that, it downgrades your video or some bullshit like that. So no doubt that also people don't want to hear me say what the fuck like that. Anyway, so here's what the groovy little thing that also I wanted to share with you. Once we get to the point where we're going to see the enemy, we're going to we have the Enterprise and the Hornet and the Yorktown. Let's ignore the Saratoga for the time being, and we've got the bases, which are probably not going to factor in terribly much because pretty much everything can take off and land from Hawaii and Johnston pretty effectively, pretty easily. It's the Enterprise and the Hornet that we want to be looking at. We can see that they can launch, and normal means that they will be able to move their full movement rate, I believe. So whatever aircraft launch, I can launch 11 from the Hornet and 11 from the Enterprise, and that will allow us to get a certain distance out, right? And it may be half. It doesn't really matter. It's not going to matter to you unless because I will tell you once you find an enemy ship or task force of some description, I will tell you how far away you are and what units can get to them based on where they currently are, and then we'll work out how to attack them going from there. So that'll be kind of fun to work that out together. And then I'll roll the dice, make it all happen, do all the bomb dropping and all that, return back to base, RTB, and all that sort of good stuff. The Americans have a lot of Wildcats, 18 Wildcats between the two carriers, 10 Devastators, and 25 Dauntlesses in one task force, and then 4 Devastators, 12 Dauntlesses, and 8 Wildcats on the Yorktown. And it's interesting that there's an interesting mix of forces there, and we can break up the task force and split it up into two, and so I could take the Enterprise and the Yorktown and split them up. At the moment they're together, and that might be a choice that you guys want to make at some point in the future. Who knows? Hey, Robert, good to see you, man. So that'll be interesting to see how we get the aircraft into the air, get them on target. You've got to load, land and rearm. So you can see here, there's a landing, then a rearming, and a refueling. And so when you refuel, you're choosing rearming, I should say. You're choosing, whether we're doing torpedoes or armor piercing. There are other things in there. I can't see them right now. Maybe they're in here. Here they are. Yeah, the armor piercing stuff and high explosives. You're going to be making choices about what you'll be dropping. They will have an impact on the combat results table, which, once again, nothing you need to know about, but you might just want to be aware of the fact. And so let's bring that over here, and I've dropped my little stand, so bear with me. Probably should have put this on the big dolly, or bigger dolly, it's not. We can see surface hits. Here we go. So we've got ship-to-ship activities, surface torpedoes, bombardments, modifiers based on, I think there are modifiers here on the right-hand side, depending on whether it's AP or HE. I'm not sure. I'll have to, here we go. Possible armaments for the different aircraft. Now, keep in mind, you're going to see some things here that we don't currently have on the map or will not have on the map. And that's because there's a number of what-if options here where you roll dice, or you're pulling chits actually, to enable a different force mix to be made available to both sides, which is a bit more interesting, add some replay value, et cetera, et cetera. So here you can see the HP, AP bombing values. Interesting that obviously the fortresses and the liberators do well with HE for area effect, but and then we've got these low, high bombing, low bombing, dive bombs and stuff like that. And we'll go through all that. We'll work through, because hopefully what I'll do is, once we get to the point, assuming we get to the point where we're going to have a combat, I'll record the entire thing for you so you can see it all transpire. We'll put the little markers on that say boom, and we'll kind of go for things from there and sort of get after it. Right, so there's that. I have written, I don't know if I mentioned it in the very beginning of the video, and just for those folks that have joined, for the Japanese, I have set up the task forces. I have made some changes to the way they were set up, and I have written a op plan for the task forces, so they will move very mechanically until such time as they're spotted, or they believe they're about to be spotted. And then they may split up their force if they want to. They might send out a diversionary screening force of destroyers. You won't know the destroyers until you spot them. We'll be doing stuff like that. But in essence, as I mentioned at the very beginning of the video, there'll be a swag of Japanese markers on the map, some starting here, potentially some starting here, or entering the map all the way down here on the bottom as well. And the idea here is that we want to keep you guessing, so you're trying to work out where is the attack actually going to come from, and where do I put my scarce resources, my Catalinas, where do I put the Catalinas to find you, because they have the longest duration. They can be out there for a long time, almost long enough to drink a beer, and then we can play a little bit of cat and mouse and see if that is fun. And if it ends up that it's getting tedious because I'm too smart and you can't find me, well, I'll make life easy for you and go hey diddle diddle right up the middle, and we'll get after it and get into the action and see what happens from there. So look, just a quick little video to try and get some people excited about the opportunity to play. He said, banging the camera one more time. So happy Friday to everybody. What's been going on with everybody else? Has everyone else been playing games? Is it just Jeff playing games savagely, playing this huge ACW title, the Chickamauga game? I see you've almost finished the first day, Jeff. So that must be fun to have gone through a full day's turns. I'm curious how long that has taken you, if you're still here. I'd be interested because I know there's not a lot of formations on the board, but that's still a substantial number of turns to be cycling through. Cataphract, love Cataphract. Gosh, I need to put that on the table. I have not played that in a long time. My original copy was missing one or two key heavy cavalry units, and so I got pissy with the system and didn't play it very much. But I've got the new edition unpunched, and so maybe I need to get that out at some point and find a corner here and set up a small battle and get after it. So John, that'll be fun. That's a fantastic system to play. I'm assuming you're pretty comfortable with it, so that's cool. Anyway, so that's cool. Anyone else playing anything? We just have 7 other people who are watching but don't actually want to comment because they're afraid they'll be known. Hexy, it's so interesting for sure. Now that's a comment all in of itself, Jeff. What does that mean when you say it's interesting? I.e., interesting and fun, and I'm enjoying it, or i.e., it's gone completely off the rails and I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Or both. I'm just going to pause for a second and see if he answers, because I know we've got a little time delay. Yes, it's less concentrated for sure, isn't it? And that's why I think I chose a earlier or a later stage battle, just to get some reps in on the system. But coming to grips can probably be difficult, given that you got to get the card, and then you got to get the movement to get to where the bad guys are, and then hope that the next hour or the next turn you get a card at the right time before they move away or dodge or do something different. Well, Robert, front towards enemy is an interesting system. I seem to recall the early versions of it, because I wasn't got a chance to see some of the play of the play testing. There was a lot of marching and then a very little bit of fighting, and it was all over pretty quickly. So hopefully they tuned up the scenarios, because some of them were like 50, 60 turns long, and not a lot happened. So I don't know what's going on there. So if it changed, I have not heard glowing praise, but I have heard praise. Yeah, Jeff. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, with the divisions that can activate multiple, the cores that can activate multiple divisions. That's nice. Well, I've got some choices to make after this, because this I intend on just sort of moving to the side of the game room, and we'll do a turn a week or something like that, because there'll be points in this CV game that we're talking about here where you guys won't have to do anything. It'll be 2 or 3 turns. We'll get through 2 or 3 hours of turns, and then I'll come back to the polls and ask you, oh, you found something, what do you want to do? That type of thing. So I'm hoping it'll go along at a snapping pace. But in the meantime, I have games coming in. I'm pretty sure Army Group North is coming soon, and so is Sicily 43. That's not a big game, so it's not Sicily, it's Italy 43, isn't it? From Simonich. So I've got those two coming in, which is kind of why I'm debating about Under an Iron Sky, about whether or not I actually set the whole thing up, put all the units out, and get it going, or continue on Vassal with Fabrizio and kind of play against him. And I'm debating what to do about that. So that's complicated. I haven't thought that through very well. And as I look at my bookcase, I'm seeing dust, which is really annoying. I've been trying to keep my game shelves relatively tidy and clean, but to no avail. Anyway, and I'm also hankering to play some TCS. It's been too long. That's funny, Robert. Okay, cool. All right, so I'm curious. What else is anyone else playing anything this weekend? Oh, you'll be in the Civil War for the remainder of the year, huh? So what are you playing after this? After we need an acronym for the Chickamauga game, the Rock. What are you playing after the Rock? I wish there was a way I could just add you to the chat, Jeff. Is there a way I can do that if you wanted to do that? I don't think I can. No, I've got to kind of do it at the same when I start it. Robert, Panzer is a great game, and but I think I'm at quota on it. I think I'm actually going to sell my entire Panzer collection. I'm going to keep the MBT stuff, I'm just, well, first of all, I'm running out of space. And secondly, I've got a closet full of games that I need to get rid of that I've had trouble, A, being motivated to sell, and B, finding someone to buy them. So that's been a challenge. And I'm trying to make sure that, you know, God forbid, touch wood, that I live long enough to get rid of all the crap so that my wife can just sell the half decent stuff that's left here. But anyway. Gettysburg 77. I have no idea what that is, but that's cool. Yeah, Robert, I found the thing I found with Panzer is that I enjoy looking at the orders of battle more than and the scenarios than I do actually playing the game. Although I have enjoyed the World War II stuff kind of more than the modern stuff. So maybe I need to sell the modern stuff. I don't know. I just find myself not getting it out to play it. I'd rather play lock and load tactical or old school tactical or something else. It's interesting. Now TCS, I've got a hankering to get GD42 back out. The very first TCS, well, it's not the very first. That's not true. It was the second TCS game I played. Poorly, by the way, but I do want to get that back on the table. That's a 3 mapper, 2.5 at least. So, and I think I've got a couple of other games coming in that I actually don't remember what they are. I know I've got to get Inflection Point to the table. I was going to try and do that this year, but I can see Battle of the Bulge, something, taken up a good 3 or 4 weeks come November, December timeframe, which will really pinch the availability of time for Inflection Point. And then then we're crashing into Christmas. So I don't know. All right, let's see what else is going on. Robert, you're not getting old, man. It's just sometimes you just got to slap yourself up the side of the head. You know what I do? I go splash some cold water on my face and like, what am I setting up? Let's go. And then I try and stick with it for a couple of hours, and hopefully that gets enough stuff on the table that now I'm committed. That's kind of how I've been doing things lately. Although my experience with Armored Knights certainly took a lot of the zip out of my zap. That was a lot of procrastination just because of the frustration level with the game and the system. So it was a bit tough. But anyway, all right. Look, we have diverged from the topic significantly, and I was not planning on hanging out this long. So I appreciate you guys chilling for a little bit. But suffice to say, number one, polls are up. Go vote at Big Board, the Big Board page, the group. You'll find it there somewhere on Facebook. 2 polls are pinned to the top. Where to put Task Force 16 and 17. That's their historical designations. It'll be Task Force 1 and 2 on the map. And then from there, I'm going to kick off the wind and weather stuff. We'll then get after it, and we'll have the next polls will be when to launch the aircraft for search using the Catalinas. There are 8 of them that will need to go out, and what direction that will need to go out in. So we'll see what happens from there, and I'll look forward to catching up with all you guys over the weekend. Cheers. Have a good one. Talk to you soon. All the best. Where's the button? Later.